Ani, Justin Beatty and Dishnakas, Begishkavin and Dishnakas, Hadley, Massachusetts and Dojiba, Makwa and Dodam, Anishinaabe and Dao, Minawa Yesa, Minawa Ojibwe, Minawa Makadea Sandao. Hello, my name is Justin Beatty. I am known as He Breaks Him Into Pieces. I live in Hadley, Massachusetts, and I am from the Bear Clan. I am of the people. I am Ojibwe, Saponi, and African American. And I am the founder of the Odenong PowWow. And today I will be giving some narration and some explanation about the footage from the 2022 Odenong PowWow, which was our second annual powwow. So thank you for joining us, and thank you to Amherst Media for creating this fantastic video, and I hope you enjoy it.
We're going to go grand entry. Anyone who is able or capable of standing, please do it at this time. We ask you to do this because we do honor the elders, the dancers, and the ancestors because of the fact that we are still here. Grand entry song, Walking Bear, take it away. As you're noticing right in front of me right now, you see an eagle staff, a beautiful eagle staff. This is the flag of the Native people all across this land. It represents all of us, and all of us who are proud and happy to be still present, still part of society, carrying that eagle staff. Mr. Stuart Johnson standing there, Chippewa U.S. Army. Behind him carrying the American flag, Giovanni LeBeau, Cheyenne River Sioux, U.S. Navy. Carrying the POW flag, Mr. William Lane Bull Bear, Cheyenne Army Special Forces. And finally, with the flags, Victor Ashwood, St. David's Island, Bermuda. Let's hear it for our flag bearers. All right. Coming in behind our flags, given the honor of being a lady and headband dancer, a very distinct honor in the powwow.
So the beginning of the Odenong PowWow, and most powwows in general, start with what is called the grand entry. Grand entry is the procession of the dancers into the dance area for the first time, or at the beginning of any of the major dancing sessions. The grand entry is a more contemporary aspect of powwows in some regards, in that traditionally there wasn't necessarily a procession of dancers in. That actually came about because of the Wild West shows. At the time of the Wild West shows, Native religion and spirituality and celebrations were outlawed. And so the only places they could take place were in these Wild West shows. And so at the beginning of the Wild West shows, they would have all of the performers enter together in a procession. And once the laws became a little bit more lax and we were allowed to start having powwows and ceremonies again, that aspect of it became a component of powwows. These Wild West shows actually were the places that a lot of the songs and dances wound up being safe because they had been outlawed, so people weren't necessarily able to do them in the same numbers as previously. So now powwows generally start with a grand entry And that is led by usually the Eagle staff, which is kind of like the American flag, but for many Native nations. And then we have various other representational flags. So you may have the United States flag, the Canadian flag, the POW/MIA flag, flags from any of the armed services, tribal nation flags. And then following that, you generally have your head dancers, followed by any visiting dignitaries, tribal dignitaries, and then the different categories of dance. So that's one of the first things that you will see at a powwow. They generally ask everybody to stand if they're able, and they ask the gentlemen to remove their hats unless they have an item of spiritual significance on it. So obviously, if you are Jewish and you are wearing a yarmulke, or if you're Sikh and you have on a turban, you wouldn't be asked to remove those things. There are certain protocols and songs that take place at the beginning of the powwow where we ask folks to respectfully stand if they are able. And we also ask that there's no video or audio recording and no pictures taken, because they are important ceremonial aspects. But the grand entry is really the first time that spectators get to see the dancers together. They may see them beforehand, walking around, getting their regalia, which is a traditional clothes, getting that together. But the grand entry is the first time that most folks are going to see the dancers coming in to the area where the dancing will actually take place for the majority of the powwow.
Ooh, all right. Thank you, Walking Beer. That was our grand entry.
Ani, Justin Beatty, Indigenous American, Indigenous American, Massachusetts, and Dojaba. Anishinaabe and Dao, Minawa Yesa, Minawa Makadea and Dao, Makwa and Dolan. Kichimigoich Kichimanako, Kinagego Mano, Hello, my name is Justin Beatty.
The blue guy, the guy in the blue shirt.
He's not the guy I know. I live in Hadley, Massachusetts. I am Ojibwe, I am Saponi and African American. I'm from the Bear Clan. I thank the Creator for giving me a good life and for giving us all a good life. I want to welcome you all. First of all, thank you all for coming. I'm really just thrilled that you could make it. I hope everybody has a good time. You know, I founded this powwow because of a few different reasons. One being that when I first moved here in the early 90s, there were like 5 or 6 powwows in the area. Well, actually 7 or 8 powwows in the area. And over time, that number has declined for various reasons. But I wanted to make sure that the Native folks here in Western Mass and just the general communities here in Western Mass had an opportunity to come together and learn from each other and celebrate together and enjoy each other and learn about each other's culture. In 2020, I was in a near-fatal car accident. I went into cardiac arrest while driving. And that led to a series of events where I had to have emergency heart surgery. And I now have what's called an LVAD, which is a pump that controls my heart. I was in the hospital for several months, and during that time, it was primarily the Native American community here in New England that took care of my family. They donated money, they brought food to my family, they came over and did yard work and went and got groceries and made sure my mom had a place to stay when I was in the hospital in Boston. I had to relearn how to sit up and walk. I had to learn how to button my clothes and get dressed. I had to learn all of that stuff. And throughout that whole time, it was primarily the Native community that looked out for me and took care of my family and sent me well wishes and prayers. And so that motivated me to get healthy so that I could get back to doing what I love to do, which is share time with the Native communities and give back to the Native communities. And I wanted to get back to folks, but there were so many people that there was just no way that I would be able to individually thank everybody and give them something for giving my family something. So I founded the Odenong PowWow. And I hope that the communities here in Western Massachusetts and the surrounding areas and throughout England, we have folks from all over North, South, and Central America, as well as the Caribbean and Pacific Islands. I hope that while you're here, you have a good time. I hope that while you're all here, you have a good time and get a chance to enjoy what we enjoy so much as Indigenous people, which is coming together to celebrate, to sing, to dance, to eat, and to just hang out. And thank you again, thank you all for coming. Kitchipagwech, I really do appreciate it greatly. Thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a fantastic time while you're here. Thank you.
How you doing? Ariga Rhonda Anderson, Wanga Ala, Shabaktuma, founder and co-director of Odenong Cultural Center and Western Massachusetts Commissioner on Indian Affairs. So I've been asked to give the land acknowledgement here today. So I want to first recognize and acknowledge the land that gives so much for thousands and thousands of years. This land that we're benefiting from right at this moment in time. This is Wabanaki territory. It's land that had been lovingly inhabited by Agawam, Nonotuck, Norwadik, Mohican, Pakantuk, Nipmuc, and Sokoke Abenaki people. Wabanaki means a place where the sun is born every day, making the people of this place the people of the Dawnland. Mohican translates to people of the waters that are never still, referencing the Hudson River. The Mohican, Stockbridge, and Munsee bands were pushed west in the late 1700s to Wisconsin, where they have a reservation today on Menominee land. They maintain some tribal lands in Troy, New York, and come regularly to Massachusetts to retain their cultural ties. They also have a TIPO office in Williamstown. Nipmuc are also still here, and Nipmuc means people of the fresh water. They have a small reservation of land that has never been ceded. Nonotuck means the middle of the river in reference to the Oxbow area of the Punatuck River. They sought refuge with their neighboring kin tribes. We are in the watershed of the Punatuck River, the Connecticut River. And this river has known many names by several different groups of people along its flowing path. Punatuck, kind of stuff. It is important to remember that this area is an integral place for Indigenous communities to reside, gather, farm, hunt, and fish for millennia. It is even more important to know that they are still here. Please get to know the Indigenous people of your area and ask what you can do to lift and raise their voices, honor and respect their sovereignty. So in that spirit, I have 3 action items. First, recognize and make changes to the dominant narrative that glorifies colonization and genocide of Indigenous people of this area. Problematic terms like Pioneer Valley and Amherst is a very painful reminder of the legacy of dispossession, removal, and subsequent erasure. Connecticut River Valley is a more acceptable and accurate term to use. Thank you. Second, support the artists and organizations that are here today. They're indigenizing this space. They're continuing cultural survival. Okay. Lastly, there are 5 bills that 6 tribes in Massachusetts support in the State House right now that address imagery, mascots, the state flag, and seal. Oh, that one got passed. Yes. Woo! Abolishing Columbus Day in favor of Indigenous Peoples Day, and protecting our cultural heritage and making sure that the state employs accurate curriculum within our public schools on Indigenous communities that are here. So please contact your local legislator, your naindigenous.agenda.org. We need you. We need to have your solidarity and voice and support to make this pass. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Rhonda. And she has a table just outside the door right over there if you'd like to find out more and learn more and visit some more and get that message out.
We're going to do it.
and Walking Bear is going to bring us home with the last of the intertribal round. Here we go. Are you ready? Take it away, High Tide. Intertribal. Floor's open. Dance, dance, dance.
So there's various types of what's called intertribal powwow singing. The predominant styles are northern and southern. We had at our powwow, we had a northern host drum, which is Iron River, and they sing in the northern style. And our southern host drum is Walking Bear, and they sing in the southern style. These two styles come from various places on the plains and around the Great Lakes. So the northern style comes from the northern plains, and around the Great Lakes area. The southern style comes from the southern plains, so Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, places like that. Now there's other styles of singing and dancing depending on what region you come from, because not all Native nations have powwows. It's not a pan-Indian sort of practice. There's no single thing that all Native people do, except for the same things that everybody does. In terms of the singing, you have those two styles are the predominant styles of singing for intertribal powwows, and then you have some variations on that. Some singers here in the East have sort of a modified version of northern singing. Some have a modified version of southern singing as well. But then there's also other kinds of songs that you may hear at powwows, especially here in the Northeast. You may hear some Eastern social songs, which there'll be a performance later, and you can hear a little bit more about that thing. But we were also blessed to have a guest drum called High Tide, which is made up of a few different folks from various Native nations, some folks from the Aquinnah-Wampanoag people, the Mashpee-Wampanoag people, Ojibwe folks, and some other guys came and sat down and sang to help out as well. But these styles of singing differ in the tone of voice that's used and how the songs start and end have different practices. The songs themselves, powwow songs, have what's called a format that they follow. They have what's called a lead, which is one singer singing. They have a second, which is when all the other singers come in, and then you go through the verse until you come back until the lead. Most songs are sung 4 times through, so you'll hear that lead 4 times. And that's once for each of the 4 directions. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But that is one of the basic things about powwow singing, intertribal powwow singing, that you may notice as you go through the video and you hear the songs.
All right, thank you, Walking Bear. I want to do a couple of kind of fun things and then also something that's a little bit serious to all of us. You know, as I was arriving and I'm thinking about driving up the Mass Pike and I was coming here and then driving through the roads and weaving my way here, I had the thoughts, and then I looked at the flyer, and I think the PowWow committee had those same thoughts as we were doing that, because they also have a memorial song that they had scheduled for all the people that we've lost. And there are so many people that we have lost in this past year in our community. The different people who I look around and I don't see them, but I know they're here with us in their spirit and their presence. So we're going to have a memorial song. During a memorial song for all those who've passed, we'd like to invite all of the families with our head dancers to get in line behind them and honor those people. And this means everyone who's in this building, who've lost people, are welcome to come and join and make their way around the circle as we honor all of our friends, our family, our extended family, our friends of family, and all the people that we really cared about who've lost someone else as well. Because during these last few years, it's hit every one of us somehow, some way, and sometimes in ways we never expected. And it's still coming, because I lost someone through an extended family member not that long ago that I just found out about in the last couple of days, so it just sneaks up on you, and it's such a shock, and it throws us off. So we're going to do that memorial dance, and I'm going to ask people during the memorial dance to just pay attention. Just pay attention. But sometimes we have to be reminded to just stop. Not just hear, but to listen. Not just move forward, but stop. Slow down. We move through this world so fast, we miss so many beautiful things every day. This memorial song is about that. It's about us to take a moment, and we always do this in PowWow communities, by dancing, by singing, by celebrating. Because even as we think about the hard times that we've been placed in, and we think about the moments that we don't think we can move forward because it hurts so much, that if we stop and we pay attention, we actually might feel good for a moment. So with that, that's why I've asked you all to stop as we start the memorial song. And I'm going to ask people to please stand, because so many of these people who are out here are dancing with their hearts on their sleeves, with their hearts exposed. And the song that I'm sure, because I've known Walking Bear for a long time, they will sing with everything in their being for these people and to give back to the community through song. And the dancers, they dance with everything they have to give back to their communities and to remember those who we've lost. And I thank you for listening, and I thank you for paying attention. And I'm going to ask everyone to just take a moment for those who you may have lost in the last little while. And send good feelings and good thoughts, because they always will send them back to us. Walking Bear, please give us that song. Everyone is welcome to come into the circle and join us. Everyone.
So at some powwows, we want to make sure that we honor the folks that have passed on during the previous year and previous powwow season. And obviously with the pandemic, it hit a lot of people hard. So a fair amount of members of various communities had passed on during the previous year. It's a way for us to acknowledge that these are members of the community that are missed. It is a way to honor their memory. It is a way to connect people together to honor collective loss within communities. And so generally during a memorial song, we have folks who are in regalia dancing in the circle, and then we invite other folks, native and non-native, in regalia or not, often to come down into the circle if they would like and dance for their loved ones as well. And it tends to help with people that are grieving to know that they're not alone and that there are communities there to support them, and that we now acknowledge that these folks are no longer with us physically, but with us in spirit, and that they've gone back to the Creator and are now with the ancestors, and they'll hopefully be able to share with the ancestors that we're keeping our ways and our traditions to the extent that all things evolve over time, but that the meaning and the way of celebrating and the needs of the people are being met in those regards. And so we hope that whenever we are able to hold this kind of practice, a dance to honor those who have gone on, that it brings comfort to the folks who need it.
Thank you, Welcome Bear. Thank you all. Our heartfelt condolences on behalf of the Powwow Committee and all the families. But what we're going to do next is a round dance. We're going to do a round dance. My head dancers understand what a round dance is. You don't just stand there and go in a circle. You know, I know that's round. That's round. But a round dance is a really easy, simple dance to do. It's sort of step by step. You kind of create the circle and you move around from one side and around. And then, you know, those people who try to do that tricky stuff, they go the other way around, or, you know, and then we get another circle, and that one's going one way, and one's going the other way, and, I mean, I was at Gathering of Nations one year, and they did the round dance. 14, 15 circles in the arena, and that is a huge arena. So it was really kind of cool to see that for the first time. I was sitting up in the stand saying, oh man, I'm glad I'm not down there. It was hot and sweaty. So, and it was only April in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so just goes to show you. So anyway, so Iron River is going to give us a round dance song. Are our head dancers ready? Are they ready? Are the head dancers ready? They're not paying attention. Are the head dancers ready? Yes? Okay. Helly Jelly at 11th hour, it's on you. Round dance, easy to do if you'd like to come on in and join us. All right.
Okay, so what you're seeing here is a round dance, which is also known as a welcome dance or a friendship dance. It's done sometimes at the early on in the powwow. And essentially what it is the dancers get together in a circle, holding hands, and it's just a simple 1-2 step to the left or the right, depending on which direction the head dancers decide, and it can vary depending on what nation or what territory you're in. Some places start out counterclockwise, some places start out clockwise. But it's an opportunity for everybody, native and non-native alike, to come together and share in a dance and enjoy being with each other. And because you're in a circle, you can see each other. And it's kind of a reminder of equity and equality, that we're all part of community, and that, you know, no person is better than anybody else. Sometimes if the space is too small, you'll make concentric circles, you know. Sometimes you'll see some dancers going the opposite direction than some of the other dancers, and that sometimes is based on what nation you're from and what direction that nation dances for round dances. And there are various kinds of round dances. There's round dances that are done Eastern social style, which have a slightly different song. But the drum beat for the round dance is very similar to a heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. And that's because the drum beat represents the heartbeat of all things. And so it's steady, and it's not that like you hear in the music where they're going boom, 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 boom. You hear that in movies. We don't do that. That's not legit. But the round dances, and generally it's a lot of times it's the first opportunity for spectators to come into the circle. And so it's done relatively early on a lot of times. And it may be done at various times throughout the powwow. It's not like you do it once and then that's it. Sometimes it may be done 2-3 times. There are round dances that are held where that's the only kind of dance that's done, and you get important singers from all over the United States and Canada will come to these round dances to share their songs. And it's just a fun, you know, it's just a fun way to hang out and have a good time.
Good time. So all you men get ready, because we're going to have a sneak up coming to you, so you may want to get that quick drink before the sneak them up. That's right. So it's time. It's sneak up time. You guys ready? You guys ready? High tide, you ready? Take it away, gentlemen, it's on you.
All right, this dance is called a sneak up, and the sneak up is actually one of the oldest dances in North America, one of the oldest recorded dances in North America. The sneak up is done as a means of storytelling. When the warriors and hunters would come back from, whatever event, whether it was a battle, whether it was the day's hunt or, a long trip, as part of the celebration of them coming back to the community, they would hold dances and feasts depending on if, it was a successful hunt. And so these dancers would go out and tell the story of their hunt. In the way that they move, they sort of crouching down as though they're tracking their prey and hiding. You'll notice that some dancers will look up to the sky or look around or look at the ground as though they're following tracks. At some point, they may start to dance as though they're having the battle with an enemy, or if they're, tangling with a prey. And that was a means for them to convey to the whole community instead of having to stop and tell the story one at a time. It was a way to convey to the community, hey, I went out and this is what happened. And it's also a way to honor that process, because not everybody would make it back or not every hunt was successful. But it was a way to show that as a community, we respect the work that goes into these different things. And so it's powerful to see this thread continued.
All right, Chris, Andy, could you guys come up here for a minute? Chris and Andy Bullock, come on up here for a minute. I need to see you guys. I need just out here. I want to point something out because it's an important thing, and it's going to make me feel better too. So just so you know. So these two guys right here, Chris and Andy Bullock. It's like I've known them since I think I was a really little kid. Like I wasn't that little. I tried. But the beauty of this was, see, Andy and Chris are brothers. And the beauty of it is, I believe Andy's older by a few years. And it just goes to show that with age comes wisdom, right? And here's how that happens. See, his brother thought he was all slick, saying, I'm not gonna go do the round dance because I'm sure he's gonna do the sneak up. Where he saved enough energy to do both dances, which reminds me of the old story of the old buffaloes up on the hill, right? The old buffaloes up on the hill. And the young ones come up and say, hey, let's go down. And the old ones say, let's walk down, right? Same result. So you can learn something for when you're his age and you finally catch up to him. All right, Chris? No problem. Thank you. I just had to acknowledge them. It's like I've known them for years. Their dad was an old and dear friend and great man, Mr. Paul Bullock, and an MC as well. I just want to recognize that. It's always fun to be on the mic because we get to do that. Hey, Tiny Tots. Hey, Tiny Tots. We're going to do Tiny Tots Youth and Golden Age categories for our contests. Again, opportunity to really learn something here as we go, because when we're looking at the dancers who signed up for the contest, it's like Golden Age is the one where they were more, and it was Golden Age women on top of it. It's like, it's crazy, right? Right, the beautiful older women of our community, always teaching the young ones something, always teaching them something. And not just with the rolling pin or the frying pan like the ones in my family did with me. Tiny Tots, our Tiny Tot dancers, make your way out. We have one that enrolled and one that registered, but we'd like all our Indian children, Tiny Tots out there. All of our young people, our little ones, show your style, show what you can do. That's what we want to see. We want to see. Tristan, you gonna go out and dance anyway? Come on. Come on. But I have a, let's see, I have a tiny tot with a number 119. 119. If you'd make your way out, tiny tot. There we go. There we go. Big round of applause. Yeah, she's gonna show us how it's done. That's it. It's gonna show us how it's done. We're only gonna give 2 push-ups. 2 push-ups. And, oh, there goes everything I have, my paper. 2 push-ups. Walk bear, how about giving us 2 push-ups?
All right, so this is one of my favorite things to see at powwows. It's called the Tiny Tots exhibition. Sometimes it's just a Tiny Tots dance. And that's where we have our young people come out and dance. And they're generally the only ones in the circle, unless sometimes they're shy and they want a parent with them. Sometimes they're really, really young and they need a parent to carry them around the circle. But it's a beautiful thing to me because we have the opportunity now that we haven't necessarily had throughout our history, because it's been interrupted at various times, to allow our young people to engage with culture early on and learn the beauty of their culture and learn how powerful their connection to culture can be so that they can be proud of who they are. A fair amount of American history, we weren't allowed to do that. And so this, for Odenong, we only had one on this day. We had one young lady who was out there dancing, and it was just beautiful to see. I mean, a lot of young people would be too scared to be out there by themselves, but she went ahead and did it, and that was a beautiful thing.
Right, let's hear it for our tiny tot. Our tiny tot. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, there we are. We're gonna call Girls Jingle Fancy. Oh, Golden Age. Golden Age, we're into Golden Age first. Golden Age category. We have a women's combined and an Eastern blanket. We're going to do the Eastern blanket first. Eastern blanket, Golden Age, number 110 and 118. 110 and 118. As soon as we get the high sign, as soon as we know all our judges are in place, we got the high sign. Ladies, are you ready? Gentlemen, are you ready? Take it away, high tide. 4 times through. Golden Age Eastern blanket.
This is the Eastern blanket dance, women's Eastern blanket dance. This is a style of dance that originated here in the Northeast and has seen a resurgence in the past 25 to 30 years or so. It wasn't being done as often or as publicly as it is now. This dance was a sort of a way for the women of the community to communicate with other women in the community that they had reached womanhood, that they had reached adulthood by the standards of the community. So what would happen was the women would make their own blankets, weave their own blankets, and through this dance, they would present the blanket to the community while telling the story of their growth from being a young girl into womanhood. They show their blanket as they dance. They turn it, they hold it out so that the community can see it, inspect both sides. They twirl it, they wrap it around their bodies to show their emergence into womanhood. One of the interesting things about the dance, though, is very often if there was someone that the woman was interested in or partnered with, at the end of the dance, she would try to line up so that she could lay that blanket at the feet of the person that she was interested in and say, hey, look, check out my blanket. Like, yeah, what do you think? Yeah. And so at the end of the dance, you'll see some of the dancers will lay their blanket down or at least hold it out in front of them, close to the ground.
Ladies, if you would come and see the arena director line up. Our judges will line up and they will rate you on, let's see, regalia, blanket, movements, you know, see if you still got what you got. You know how that works from when you were younger. They're all winking at me now. See, I knew I get winks. I knew I could do it by just saying those things. It's always kind of fun. But Eastern Blanket is a northeastern style of dance that came back to life, but it was sort of moving through a couple of different things through their lives, through showing what they got so that they can share it with their potential partners, etc., etc. Again, 102, 105, 107, 111. You ladies are in earshot. You're in earshot. We'll be doing the adult categories a little bit later on this afternoon. As we get through, we'll get through our adult categories. But currently, let's see, we have fancy shawl, we have traditional. What else do we got out there? I see 1, 2, 3. Where's 4? Where's 4? We need 4. Oh, and there's 4. Another traditional. There we go. Elena's like, yeah, me. We're ready to go. Iron River's gonna get that song. You ladies ready? Our arena director's ready. I don't care if you're ready. The arena director's ready. Iron River, take it away!
Women's Golden Age combined category. So the Odenong PowWow is currently a contest powwow, which means for the different styles of dance categories, the dancers have an opportunity to win a financial prize. Some of the categories are combined into a larger single category. In this case, the Women's Golden Age category, which I believe was ages 50 and up, or 55 and up, was sponsored by my parents, Ron and Cheryl Welburn, to honor these elder dancers. You will see that there are varying styles of dancer out in the circle at this time. You will see women's traditional dancers, you will see maybe women's fancy dancers, so you will see women's jingle dress dancers, any of the women's styles in a combined category dance you will see out there dancing together. But this is the Women's Golden Age category, honoring our elder women in the community and giving them an opportunity to show off their skills.
Great job. I want to point out we have 4 different styles of dance out there. Because in Indian country, traditional, northern, southern, eastern, and actually there's even button blankets from the Northwest, and there's southern style, different southern, southwestern style in all of these dances. So I just want to point out that lots of different styles are going on right there. So, thank you, ladies, for being there. Thank you, Mr. Arena Director. That's our Golden Age and Youth categories. I'll have you hold those and get back to me when we run them again. What, you got one? Oh, girls. Oh my God, youth. Oh my God, I missed it. Exhibition. Girls Jingle Fancy. Girls Jingle Fancy. She's like, oh man, I thought I was gonna get away. And he snuck right up on you. He was like, we saw you going that way. Justin, you know what? You have to blame Justin. Let's hear it for our soul Jingle Fancy girls. 2 push-ups have come to you guys. Walking Bear, you gonna take it? You wanna do this jingle dance for me? 2 times through? Ooh, straighter side step, Mr. One girl, let's go straight. Straight. Because we'll bring her out again tomorrow, we'll give her the side step. And it's a soul dancer, you only have to do it 2 times through. It's an exhibition. Thank you.
So what we have here is the girls' jingle dress exhibition. There was only one young dancer who came out for this. Her name is Kiana Brown. She is, I believe, Mohawk, and she lives here in Amherst. Her brother Cody, who's, I think that's him right there in the blue shirt, is on our powwow committee as well. The jingle dress dance comes from my mother's people, the Ojibwe people. We are Algonquin people who live in and around the Great Lakes areas and heading further north into Canada and in some places west into the Dakotas. But primarily we live around the Great Lakes. This dance is a medicine dance. It is meant for healing. And I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But this was an exhibition for a young lady, I believe she's maybe 10. It was just great to see her out there because she just dances with a lot of energy and big smile and having fun the whole way.
All right, that's our lone youth jingle dress girls. Yes, indeed. Okay, we're gonna invite all the kids, visiting kids, Indian kids, all the kids. Come on in, make your way in. Come over here. You could walk away with a toy. What's the oldest age category for a toy? 12 and under. 12 and under? $18 and under. Oh my God, can somebody get me the toy vacuum? I need to see that for a minute. I need to see a toy vacuum just for a minute. This isn't important. Oh, she's looking at it now? I want to see the toy vacuum. I need to see it. I have an expert in vacuums that's here. And what I'm trying to find out, let me see that for a second. You see this? So we're gonna ask Nelson. Nelson is the father of our head lady dancer, and he's gonna check out the quality of this. Nelson has been known to not just vacuum, but also comb his carpeting. So when it has the tassels, I've seen this firsthand in his first apartment with his wife, where he combed out every tassel. So it's of high quality. So it can be out there. It's a dirt devil. Okay, so it can be out there. And I know he's been wanting to teach his daughter something about vacuums because she doesn't clean anything up and she makes a mess, is what her mom told me anyway. But Nelson has been known, and I've seen video, cuts his grass. It goes onto the walkway and gets in the cracks, and he's been there with a vacuum, sucking it out of the cracks. I kid you not. Okay, so let's see. So we're gonna get some dancing, and when they stop, they can pick up a toy until they're all gone. Do you get that? So all the kids who are present, you go out there, you gotta dance though, you can't just walk around, you gotta dance. And when you're dancing, when the music stops, snatch up a toy, you can snatch up more than one, but here's the rule. You can't pull something out of our arena director's hands when he's grabbing one himself. Or be kind to each other. And then the two brothers are going, and Chris is saying, I'm younger than you, Andy, so I get to dance. I know how that's going. I see how that's working. But are we ready? Who would you like, Hector, to sing this song? High Tide? High Tide, you got the song. And don't forget, you guys can stop it, let him grab, and start it back up again if you want. But you can only grab a toy when the music stops.
This is a combination candy dance and toy dance. A lot of powwows here in the East Coast and in other places you will see they have a candy dance. Sometimes there's toys out there as well. And this is meant for all of the children, whether they're native or not, to be able to come out and participate. And so what is done a lot of times is candy spread out through the dance on the grounds of the dance area, and in this case, toys. And we invite children in to come dance. And the way the dance works is, as long as the music is playing, the kids are supposed to be moving. They don't necessarily have to be dancing, but they should be walking and making their way around the circle. When the music stops, they can pick something up. They can pick up, in some cases, as much as they can grab. In some cases, they're only supposed to pick up one or two things, but it can be hard to get kids to follow rules, especially when there's toys and candy involved. In this case, we had a bunch of toys that were donated by Native American Lifelines of Boston. And so the kids were able to come down and dance to the song and pick up toys and, take them. We generally tell the kids, obviously no pushing, no shoving, be respectful. And then at the end of the dance, if you see somebody who doesn't have anything and you have some stuff, you share it with them, because it is about being good to each other. And somebody was nice enough to give you something and allow you to have toys and candy. So the right thing to do is to share that with the other folks. A lot of times, Native kids will actually take some of whatever they got and go and give it to the drum that sang the song. So sometimes some kids will come over with a bunch of candy and just hand it to the people that are sitting at the drum. But this was really a wonderful way to celebrate the young folks that came out, and have them have an opportunity to feel like they were part of something. And hopefully it makes them want to come back the next year.
Oh, hurry up! Better get them! They all have to go! Hurry up, grab something quick! Great time to go Christmas shopping, kids. Get all your friends their Christmas presents here. Get them all until they're all gone. They all have to go. Pick Pick them up. Pick them up. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, all right. There's still stuff there. There is still stuff. Yes, you can. You got to get it all. A giveaway and a toy dance and a candy dance until it's all gone. It's all got to be pulled up. Come on, kids. You can get more than one thing. Oh, my goodness. Up. I guess they want to sing one more time. There you go. Dance around that one toy you want to snatch when they stop. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Up. All right, that's it, kids. Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you, High Tide, and thank you all for participating. And wait a minute. We have a football. I didn't even have to go deep for that one. We'll be throwing that during break, I'm sure, outside in the rain. But one of the things that's so important in Indian communities is giveaway and sharing, and we want to give a big thanks to Native American Lifelines. They have a table just outside the doors here. Please stop by, visit with them. Big round of applause for Warren from Native American Lifelines, who went and picked up all those toys to share and give away to all of you all who are here with us today. Thank you, thank you. Next time, I'm hoping they go from my age up so that I can actually get something. I said my age up, you guys are, oh, that's right, you guys are older than me, never mind. So with that, I'm gonna go down to Walking Bear, ask them for the song for a blanket dance. The blanket is gonna make its way around, and you all have a chance to contribute as well. Thank you in advance on behalf of the PowWow Committee. Walking Bear.
All right, so this is a blanket dance, a different kind of blanket dance than what you saw earlier. This is a blanket dance that is done as a means to raise funds for, in this case, for our powwow, but sometimes blanket dances are done to raise money for the drum groups that come, or if there's a member in the community that is having some struggles and they need some financial help. Sometimes it can be donations for an organization or for student programs, things of that nature. We had the pleasure of having these 4 young ladies be willing to donate their time, because this song can go on for quite a while. But generally the way it works is you have 4 young ladies each take a corner of a blanket, and they are either led or followed by the head dancers, and they make their way around the dance area and then out around the powwow grounds. And what people do is they donate by putting money into the blanket. It can be bills, it can be change, it can be checks, I suppose, as well. But it allows the powwow committee or whoever's having the blanket dance an opportunity to pull in some support, financial support, for whatever the event is or whatever the circumstances are for the blanket dance. A lot of times drum groups don't necessarily get paid a lot or at all. Sometimes some drum groups just show up just to be able to sing and be able to share music with the community. And you know, it can be an expensive undertaking getting the powwows. They're all over the country. They happen every weekend. So sometimes powwow committees will put on a blanket dance to be able to give any drum groups that show up some gas money, some money for food, coffee, things like that, if they are not a budget to outright pay them. In this case, this was fundraising for our powwow so that we can make sure that we can hold it again in 2023. And I'm proud to say it was well received, and I want to thank everybody that donated, because it really helps make a difference for us.
You know, I always, you know, like, I forgot, there's a bear, bears have tails. They may be small, but they have tails. I want to thank you all in advance, and I guess we can serve powwow committee tables right here. We can get that to them.
Hello, everyone. Hello, you there? So to do this stomp, we're going to need some people out here. So I have some people come out here and join me because I can't do the stomp by myself. So I'm putting that call out. This is an intertribal stomp. And anyone who wants to join me, you come out and do our thing. Now this stomp, and you can also help from the bleachers too. Because let me just give you a little insight and a little bit of a direction how we do this. When I say you, everyone answers with he. You. 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 When I say hey, you answer hey, 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 hey. You are the alley. You are the alley. You are the alley. You are the alley. Now when I say wait, well, let's just get up to that part. Let's start. So come on out here.
This is the Stomp Out Addiction Stomp Dance. This was provided and supported through Cedric Woods, who works at UMass Boston, and a collection of Native folks that have created the Stomp Out Addiction platform to help deal with addiction and alcoholism and the problems that come out of that within our communities, not just the Native community, but communities in general. A lot of times folks, especially at powwows, because powwows are drug and alcohol-free events, folks that had struggled with addiction and alcoholism feel ostracized and they feel like they're not welcome when we know that they're dealing with an issue. And so the Stomp Out Addiction Stomp Dance is meant to bring awareness to this issue in the community and to let folks know that we understand that it's a struggle and that it may have a hold on you that you at present are having a hard time dealing with, but that you're part of the community and that we want you to get help and we want to be able to support you, and that we're not trying to make you feel as though you're not welcome. The idea is that being of clean body and spirit and mind when you're at these events helps give the spiritual power and healing that we all need as a community. And so we know folks struggle with these issues. They're prevalent in a lot of communities, not just Native communities. But we wanted to make sure that folks understand that we don't necessarily see it as something that we should be pushing people away and hiding them. We should be actively engaging with them to get them help and to give them support and know that they're loved and that they're welcome and that we want them to be part of the community. So having a stomp dance, which is an Eastern style of dance, it's also done in some places in the Southern Plains amongst folks that were removed from the East. A stomp dance is a call and response type of dance. It's usually done single file with the lead singer in the front. There's no drums. Usually it's rattles and bells. And the lead dancer sort of makes a pattern as they go around the dance area, and everybody follows along in that pattern. The lead singer will sing out a phrase, and there's a response phrase that the other dancers give back, and he goes through his dance. Eventually, in a lot of cases, they will end in sort of a pinwheel, kind of a circle where the lead dancer spirals inward until everybody is surrounding that dancer. And then at the end, everybody gives out a loud woo, you know, just to kind of put some power on it and to be like, it's a lot of fun. And so at the end, you kind of wound up. And so it's a good way to release that good energy and positive energy.
Wow, I think I lost the elastic and everything.
I'm an artist here in Western Mass. I produce work about missing and murdered Indigenous people. So I brought a display here today. It's just for information purposes, and I'm doing a live painting demo. I think it's integral to have a gathering like this here, specifically because of the history of the area with Lord Jeffrey Amherst, and he was the first person to introduce the idea of germ warfare through smallpox-infested blankets to the Indigenous people. So it's really an act of healing to have this here. I also went to high school here at this school, so it's of significance to me and other Amherst high grads as well.
Hi, so I'm Anika Lopes, artist and Amherst Town Councilor representing District 4. It's really important that we celebrate Native culture because number one, we are standing on Native land, and it's important that we recognize that, come to terms with that, and really embrace that in the best ways moving forward.
Hello everybody again. Hello, my name is Justin Beatty. I am the founder of the Odenong PowWow. I hope you're all having a good time. I want to thank you all for coming out. I know with the weather being what it is, it's not necessarily the best time to come out to events, but I want to thank you all for being here and being with us. And just real quick, I want to say some thank yous to various folks that have helped with this event and supported this event. So please bear with me while I go through this. First of all, the Odenong PowWow, I'd like to thank Native American, Indigenous, and First Nation members of the various communities throughout North, Central, and South America, as well as the Caribbean and Pacific Islands. We'd also like to extend a very special thank you to the members of Indigenous tribal nations living here in the Northeast, especially those in Western Massachusetts and the surrounding areas. I'd like to ask you all to give a round of applause to our head staff, Bailey Jade Arujo, Bruce Curtis, Angelina La Rotunda, Hector Rosa LeBeau, Jonathan Perry, our host drum, Iron River and Walkie Bear, our guest drum, High Tide, and most importantly, our sound engineer, Ron Perry. I'd also like to thank the following people and organizations. This is definitely by no means a full list. There's a lot of people that I want to thank, but I had to kind of write this on the fly because I left the actual paper at home. So if you think you should be thanked, thank you. So please, I'd like to thank the following people and places and organizations. The Amherst Regional High School, of course, thank you for letting us have the powwow here. Robert Caldwell and Jana Bettman, thank you for your help and support. The UMass Amherst Native American Students Association. Salon 130 East, Sacred Roots Healings, Jalone and Bella Garcia, Stephanie Hebert and the Talon Beating Company, Susan Havens, Ella Alkavich, Liz Green Charleboy, Roseanne Remigio Ashe, Suzanne Carlton, Mount Holyoke College, and Heather Floyd Halt. I'd like to thank all those folks. If you give a round of applause for all those folks, they were instrumental in helping me get this powwow off the ground. A lot of them made donations to our raffles and to the event itself, and so I'd like to thank them. I'd also like to thank my powwow committee, who has been super helpful and supportive, even with the home things that they had going on in their lives. So again, Angie La Rotunda, Cody Rooney, Kara Nye, Fela McNamara, Kim Lucia, TJ Thomas, and Warren Griffin. That's the powwow committee that helped me get this powwow off the ground. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. So I owe them all a debt of gratitude. And give a round of applause for yourselves for coming out. Don't be humble, come on now, what is that? Ew. I'm not gonna clap for myself, I'm far too humble for that. No, clap for yourselves. You came out supporting the Native community, it's greatly appreciated. You have an opportunity to come here and learn and meet people and see things for yourself, and you made an active choice to do that, and that is greatly appreciated because a lot of people are walking around with erroneous beliefs and crazy ideas about who we are as Indigenous people and what we look like. They expect us to all look like your 8th grade social studies book picture, and that is not the case. So thank you all for coming, and you all deserve a round of applause for being here. Thank you. Again, my name is Justin Beatty, and I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, Justin. Thank you all. Here we go, first intertribal back. I'm going to get to our contest shortly. All right, River, you're on deck. Clear to travel. River's on deck. High tide, you're on standby. I think we're going to throw you a crow hop. Did you get that, Thomas?
So intertribal dancing, and this is what you're seeing here, is an opportunity for all of the dancers, all of the styles, all different nations to come into the circle and dance together. Intertribal, meaning between all the different tribes or nations. In which the United States alone, there are 576 federally recognized tribes, another 60 plus state recognized tribes, and numerous groups of Native people living where they've always lived, operating as a nation, but they just don't have any formal government-to-government relationship. so they're not considered recognized. Intertribal dancing is often a pretty major part of some powwows, especially the non-contest powwows. It gives folks an opportunity to come in and dance and share and, just be together and hang out and have fun. Usually later in the day, the intertribal dancing also includes non-native people. And intertribal dancing generally doesn't require you to be in regalia. And so that's what our traditional clothes are called, regalia, or a dance outfit. It's not a costume. A costume is something you put on when you're pretending to be something that you're not. And this is who we are. These are our traditional clothes. I guess you could say jeans and a t-shirt for me is a costume. I'm pretending to be a regular American. But the intertribal dancing really is a staple of most powwows. It really allows folks to be in the circle together, and this is where the subtleties of evolution of culture happens. People see up close what are new things that somebody has on their regalia. What have they added? What have they moved? What did they make something out of? Is there a new material that's becoming popular? It's a chance for old people and young people to be in the circle together. A lot of times you'll see groups of friends making their way around the circle together, pretty much shoulder to shoulder, laughing and talking as they're dancing. And so it's an important aspect because it gives us the opportunity to be together regardless of our cultural differences, regardless of our age differences or our ability differences, our educational differences. We all come together in these moments to dance together as Indigenous people and allies of Indigenous people. And so it's one of my favorite things to see.
Scott Foster, the taxman, is looking for you. Scott Foster, IRS is looking for you. Run, Thomas, run. Run, Thomas, run. I wanted to say, look at all those beautiful Indian people out there and Jonathan. No, that's 11th hour. It's changed from Hollywood to 11th hour. 11th hour. 11th hour. The movie featuring Jonathan Perry. Dun, dun, dun. We're gonna go into a crow hop. Are you ready for a crow hop, Jonathan? Okay, high time, it's on you. All right, thank you. High tide.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? My name is Thomas. I come from the Wampanoag tribe of Quina, across the water. Really happy to be here. Just want to say Kitaba Kamimu, thank everybody for coming all this way. Those who have traveled from both near and far. Just gonna get some social dance songs going. We're gonna start off with a robin dance. I'll share a duck dance and a mosquito dance as well. So for folks that know the dances, please come and yeah, we're gonna jam out a little bit. Yo, ho, yo, ho, hallelujah, yo, hallelujah, yo, hallelujah, yo, hallelujah.
So this portion, and there's a few songs that'll be done here, is an Eastern social song exhibition. These songs were sung primarily by Thomas Fantasia, who is a member of the Quina Wampanoag Nation. They are from Noepe, which is the island of Martha's Vineyard. They're the traditional indigenous people from there. Eastern social songs are the general kind of songs that you would have heard here over the millennia here in the Northeast. They're not necessarily ceremonial songs. These were just the kind of songs that folks danced to for fun after a long day and people were just hanging out. There's a bunch of different kinds of dances that are done, but generally these are, again, sort of call and response songs in a lot of cases. They're songs that are either done with a rattle or a water drum. A water drum is a small handheld drum that is shaped kind of like a cup with a leather head over it. It has a hole in the side with a peg. And what you would do is you would put water inside the drum and then peg it shut. And what you were able to do with that is, as you were singing, as the drum head dries out, it would change in tone. The drier it was, the higher the sound was. So you could just tip the drum over to the side and wet the head a little bit and change the tone of the drum to match whatever song you were singing. A lot of these dances are done either in with partners or in a single file sort of follow the leader style of dance. But there's variations, there's a ton of different dances. Some of them are done differently depending on where you are. A lot of the dances are named after things that were important to a given culture. So there are things like the robin dance, mosquito dance, alligator dance, new woman's dance, shuffle, smoke dance, variations on a lot of different aspects of the natural world that were important to Native people because they taught us things about survival, about relationships, about nature itself. And so a lot of times here in the Northeast, you will see a specific portion of the powwow dedicated to Eastern social singing.
just a little explanation on the dance. This is a hunter-gatherer dance. And what the men do is, you'll notice they'll stand on opposite sides of the ducks because they're emulating duck traps. And you'll hear the beat, and at one point the beat will stop, and when the beat stops, the men are going to drop their arms, hoping to catch a duck. And the ducks are going to try to not get caught by the hunters. And I'm hoping I can get some more men up here. You two over there at high tide. Keon, Phil, get your hindies up here and help our hunters out.
So this is the duck dance, and this dance is representative of hunters trying to capture ducks. And so what you have is hunters in pairs lined up facing one direction, and then other people, generally it'll be men as the hunters and women as the ducks. And as the song progresses, they sort of dance. The men are dancing forward, the women are dancing, stepping backwards. And then when the beat changes, the women run past the hunters. The hunters are holding hands and they hold their arms up. And when the song stops, the hunters drop their arms and try to catch the ducks between their arms, as though they were catching ducks in a net. And it's a really fun dance to watch. A lot of times it starts out with just a few people, and by the end there's a bunch of people, because the dancers get the chance. They got to run. They're trying not to get caught. The hunters are trying to catch them, and so there's this interplay. Kids really seem to love it because they get to run and they get to try not to be caught. And sometimes, couples, you're trying to catch the person that you're dating, and so there's a lot of fun aspects to the social dancing. And again, this is why social dancing is meant to be a means for a community to engage with each other and just have a good time and celebrate culture.
Folks in the stands, if you'd like to give this a try, come and join us. We just want to take some time to invite everybody out. Also, we'll get my rattle.
Come on. Saw how easy that was. Just also want to see if anyone has found a sweatshirt or a t-shirt. And also give last call. I want to give about 20 more minutes to the raffle, about 20 more minutes to the raffle. So if you haven't bought a raffle ticket for today, please do so soon. Get your raffle tickets and go.
Yeah, we got some ducks coming.
Ooh, we got some. Looks like you get more ducks but less hunters.
That's what I'm talking about. We're get some more hunters.
Need more hunters out there.
Gentlemen, don't be shy. Here we go. Not all at once.
Come on now. Where are those men?
Our hunter needs a partner.
Need some more men out there. Come on now, guys.
Here we go.
Come on now, guys.
Come on.
Don't worry. There's only one woman I see out there that fights. You know, fighting duck.
Oh, here we go. We got more. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, let's give these folks a round of applause. Yeah, now we got ourselves a duck dance. We are home. We are home. Hey, oh, and I, oh, we are. We are home. We are home. Hey, oh, and I, we are. Yeah, Thank you, everybody. And we're going to do one more dance before we continue on. And that's going to be a mosquito dance. So, if I can keep our headband as a lady, please, thank you. They can demonstrate. So, I mean, we are indoors, so I don't have to worry about as much, but the mosquito dance is a dance traditionally for keeping the bugs away. And it is the time of year where those critters are out and about. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a straight rhythm with the rattle. You'll see the dancers are gonna kick their legs away from one another. The point of the dance is not to kick each other. And you're gonna notice the beat will change, and when it changes, while kicking, they're gonna go in a circle. It's a pretty athletic dance.
This is the mosquito dance. You'll see this a lot of the time here in New England when Eastern social dancing is done. I've seen it a lot amongst Mashpee Wampanoag folks and Aquinnah Wampanoag folks and Narragansett folks as well. And this dance has been around for a really, really long time. Some folks will say, you know, you do it to keep the mosquitoes away. Some folks say they do it to bring mosquitoes for other purposes so that the other animals have something to eat, and not so much because we want to get bit by mosquitoes. But we understand Native people have been around and in their traditional locations, in some cases for tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. And so their relationships with these places have been developed over time. And so we have, in a lot of cases, a very involved and intricate knowledge of the cycles, the practices of animals, what's safe to eat, what isn't safe to eat, what are seasonal changes, what do they indicate, all done through essentially scientific method of trial and error over thousands and thousands of years. And so that knowledge is useful and important, although sometimes it's dismissed by Western medicine. A lot of times we incorporate these aspects of understanding into our dancing. So it's a means of conveying knowledge and transferring knowledge that's not necessarily classroom based. But if you're not privy to the conversations that happen within culture, if you're not privy to the practices of culture, you might see some of these things and not understand how they are really operating, how they're passing this information down. There's a lot of subtlety and nuance and information that is passed down through some of these dances, even though they're social dances and they're done just for fun.
Normally I go 1 or 2 more. Thanks.
Eastern blanket. Then we're going to do traditional, then jingle, then fancy in the adult women categories. Eastern blanket, number 109, 114, and 120. Make your way out into the dance arena, please. Please, please, please. Do we have our judges? Do we have our judges? We don't have our judges yet. We're getting our judges as we speak. Stand by, you're on deck. Traditional, adult women traditional. 113, 116, and 117 are the numbers we have registered for that. You're on deck. And then stand by jingle. 101, 112, and 103 on the adult women's categories. Here we go, contest is on.
So this is the Women's Eastern Blanket Dance. As I said earlier, this is a dance done by the women of the community to show off not only their skills of blanket making, but to tell the story of their journey from being a young lady into womanhood. Depending on which tribal nation you're from, there are going to be certain symbols and colors that you use in your blanket. The steps might be somewhat different. The order in which you do certain things might be a little different, but ultimately the dance is really about the women of the community accepting and acknowledging the newer women of the community, and then also sharing with them, this is the process through which we identify who are people, the women in our community, their presentation of how did you get to this point, what was your growth through youth and childhood, and preteen, adolescence, and into womanhood, and sharing that with the community.
All right, ladies, if you would come and line up here in front of the arena director. Make sure the judges can see your numbers. Going to ask our adult women traditional dancers to start making their way. 113, 116, and 117. Your contest is up next. Stand by, adult women jingle. Adult women traditional, number 113, 116, and 117. Okay, we have that there is two. We just caught a correction with 113, who was in the golden age, not the adult women's. So she danced in the right category, registered down here in the wrong one. So 116 and 117, we have our two ladies who are going to be dancing. Iron River Singers, you have that song. Gentlemen, you will have jingle, adult women's jingle. Take it away, gentlemen.
Okay, so this is women's traditional combined category, and women's traditional dancing generally is a bit more reserved out of all of the styles of dance. You will often see that they don't really lift their feet very high. Sometimes they do what's called scrubbing, which is actually sort of standing in place and mimicking sort of an up and down movement. These dancers are generally really graceful. You can see, even though they're not really moving much, the fringe on their shawls is usually swinging pretty distinctly. And it's a dance that's done to honor the women. A lot of times, depending on the place, you will see warriors standing outside of the circle, like at various points in or outside the circle, to sort of protect these women while they're in the circle. Some places ask that you stand during this dance because we honor the women. They're the life givers. They are the mothers. They are, a lot of times, our children's first teachers. In a lot of tribes and Native nations are matriarchal, some are matrilineal, some are matrilocal, some are combinations of those. So matriarchal means that the women are the ones that are actually allowed to hold the power and carry the weight of politics. They decide who gets to be chief or not chief. They are the ones who are allowed to own property. Matrilineal means that you get your bloodline and your clan through your mother. So whatever your mother's clan is, you are. Whatever your mother's nation is, you are. And matrilocal means that if you were to get married, you go and live with your wife's family. And that was done to protect these women, so that way you could be assured that the husband wouldn't be abusive, or that the husband wasn't going to do things that were considered inappropriate, because he's going to be watched by her family. And sometimes there's combinations of those. I believe among some of the Haudenosaunee folks, it's the clan mothers that actually install the chiefs. So if the clan mothers say this person can't be chief, then they can't. They can also remove a chief. In some cases, the men say, and this can be among various nations, the men are like, well, we want to go fight these people. And if the clan mother said you're staying home, there's things that need to be done here, then a lot of times you stayed home. And so these dancers, the women's traditional dancers, are often really regarded as really, really worthy of respect and carrying on the traditions. It's the older style. There's some contemporary, other dancers that are contemporary, but obviously women's traditional is one of the older styles of dance for women.
Thank you, singers, dancers. If you come, please line up for the arena director and make sure your numbers are visible for the judges. And the arena director says, go, should I give one more call? One more call for the three jingle dancers, 101, 112, and 103. That's it. We're ready to go. High Tide, take it away.
This is the women's jingle dress dance, but this dance comes from my mother's people, Ojibwe people. The story is that there was a sickness amongst a particular nation of people, and they were feeling a pain in their side. And a man had a dream that if there was a certain dress that was made and certain songs that were sung, the people would be healed. His niece happened to be one of the people that was sick. Now the dress is called a jingle dress because of the sound it makes. On the dress are cones that are made from, they currently make them from the lids of snuff cans, usually Copenhagen snuff cans. And each cone is put on a dress with a prayer. And at the next time they were holding ceremony, he had these dancers come out, and he had his niece who was sick there. She was really sick. She was barely able to move. The dancers started doing the dance, and as they made their way around the circle, the young lady started feeling better. The second time they made their way around the circle, she was actually able to sit up. The third time they made their way around the circle, she was able to stand up with help. And the fourth time they made their way around the circle, she was able to join them and make her way around the circle with help. And she started feeling better. And so this dance started to be done in a lot of places, and there was healing that came out of doing this dance. What you will see is at certain points when there's these very strong beats in the song called honor beats, you will see the dancers raise their fans or raise their hand depending on what they're carrying. And that is them sending their prayers up for healing to the Creator. And some dancers take it very, very, very seriously, and they're expected and they expect to carry themselves in a very particular way because they've been given the honor of providing healing for Native communities.
All right, thank you, ladies. If you would please stand in front of the reading director, line up, make sure your numbers are shown so the judges can see them. Okay, we're got a big a big fancy contest coming up. Ladies fancy. Gentlemen, it's on you. It's not fast. Don't you miss those days, Heidi? At your age?
This is the women's fancy dance, which is a contemporary style of dance. It's also known as the butterfly dance because of the way the dancers are very light on the feet and the way they kind of move around very quickly. They spin, they turn, they hop, and they do a lot of footwork and arm work combined. Now the fancy dance, women's fancy dance came out of the men's fancy dance, which was a style of dance that originated in the early 1900s around the time of the Buffalo Bill Wild West shows. The young men that were in these shows wanted some dancing that was a little bit more exciting than the slower traditional styles of dance. And so they created a style of dance called men's fancy dance, which became really popular. And then what happened was women started doing that dance as well. And women got really, really good at it. And so when there was competitions and the women started winning in the men's style of dance, the guys were like, come on, you guys go get your own style of dance. And some women were like, yeah, we don't need to compete with you. We're obviously better and we're winning. And so they created a style of dance that was more in line with the women's traditional dances. So women's traditional dancers usually carry a shawl, but they carry it over their arm. And as you can see here with the women's fancy dance, she has it over her shoulders and stretched out over her arms as though it's more like wings. And because it's a very fast dance with a lot of spinning and turning, it's a lot more exciting. They usually have a lot of different bright and brilliant colors on their regalia. They may use things that reflect, they may use sparkles and sequins, they may use a fair amount of beadwork, but each individual dancer has their own, not only style in terms of dancing, but style in terms of the way the regalia looks.
All right. I want to say goodbye to my cousin Scott Foster. Okay, if we can get our one lady to line up for all of the no judges. We got your number. Eastern War, number 115. 115. Wait a minute, he's trying, listen to him. Is he trying to pick the drum? We're giving him a completely different drum for that purpose. I remember you're going to have that song. Adult category, demonstration, 4 times through. I want to make sure you earn that 3rd place you're going to get here. You know, when you're competing against yourself, you always pull 3rd, just the way it works. Yeah, you know. We got the judges all lined up. Arena director says go, Iron River. Take them through. Take them through. They're thinking, they're thinking. I was going to mess with you first, Guillaume.
All right, this is the men's Eastern War Dance. This is done specifically by tribes on the East Coast, and it's most prevalent here in New England and into the mid-Atlantic states. This style of dance was the dance that men did, again, after coming back from battle or before battle to prepare, to offer their prayers and to offer their strength and to remind themselves of how to carry themselves as warrior, to think about what might happen and how they would deal with it. Some dancers that I've had conversations with about it have said that it's much like when you envision how something is going to go beforehand, before you do it. You know, like athletes, they imagine winning the game, or they imagine a certain scenario and they go out and they practice as though that's the situation. These dancers are sometimes, some of the dancers I've talked to said it's kind of that same thing. You're envisioning what you would do in these circumstances. You're imagining having that battle. You're imagining getting prepared to have to do battle and honoring all of the traditions that come along with that. You know, these warriors were often fighting to protect not just themselves, but their nations. And it's not treated in the same way because these were things that were very up close and personal. These were not, you know, battles that took place across hundreds of miles through, you know, missiles and bullets and things of that nature previously. So these dances, to honor that, because we knew the gravity of having to do battle, the necessity of it when it came about, it was generally the last choice. You know, we, as most people don't realize, that Native people, we had a tremendous political systems in place, a tremendous amount of them really involved. We have been dealing with different nations for hundreds and thousands of years, and so we understood the value of life, and that only as a last resort did you really want to have to take a life. So honoring that and honoring the intensity of that is what a lot of dancers feel like they are doing. They're honoring their ancestors, even if we don't have to fight those battles in the same way anymore, but trying to honor the fact that our ancestors went through so much so that we could still be here today. And that's one of the aspects of Eastern War dancing based on conversations that I've had with folks. So in closing, I would like to thank all of you for watching. I'd like to thank everyone who was able to attend, and we hope that you can join us for the 3rd annual Odenong PowWow in 2023, which will be Memorial Day weekend. We are hoping that we will have another fantastic time. It was really great to see so many people from the community, so many friendly faces, have an opportunity to share our culture so that you can see and learn directly from us about who and what we are, and hopefully have an opportunity to expand your relationship with the Native community here in Western Massachusetts and the surrounding areas. Again, I'd like to thank Amherst Media. I would like to thank all of the vendors who came out to share their wares and their work. I'd like to thank all of our singers, Iron River Singers, the Walking Bear Singers, High Tide. I'd like to thank our head staff, our arena director, our MC, our head dancers, our head judge, this powwow staff who helped handle everything so smoothly and wonderfully, Amherst Regional High School for allowing us to use their space, all of the donors, everybody who contributed in some form or fashion to making sure that we were able to have a wonderful, positive, and healthful event. And again, I would like to thank all of you who are watching at home and everybody who attended for coming out. And we hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much. My name is Justin Beatty. Gigawabman. See you soon.